Good morning, good morning, good morning. So, every time I come out here, I usually say something along the lines of, all right, what do we have going on, right? And it's because every day we're doing something, but while always doing something, sometimes you're working on the same project, right? So, for instance, over the last 4 weeks, we've been working on the Salesforce curriculum. In which case, this week is the certification prep. Hey, Frida. And then next week, I already have it scheduled, Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Rhino will be taking the Salesforce User Experience Designer certification. Now, that's 5 weeks of kind of giving the same update every day. Okay, we got through yesterday. We're going to do today. We're going to go through tomorrow, blah, 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 blah. And it's not very exciting, but after 5 weeks, then the update is, hey, we wanted to do this. We did do this. Now it's completed. Hey, Brian, nice shirt, right? So this is actually Rhino Daddy, right? Daddy Rhino, or something like that. My whole family, myself, my wife, and our two children have Mommy Rhino, Daddy Rhino, Brother Rhino, and Sister Rhino, I think, right? Anyway. And my wife's like, you can't wear that on live. I'm like, why not? I was like, there's a rhino on it and I can do whatever I want, right? Like, that's why we work so hard, to be able to make decisions. Anyways, so that's usually the update. A lot of good things have been happening. And one would be able to take a look at Rhino Bucks, and see that not only is it continuing to move up, but the market cap is continuing to move up. So like we described, or like we shared and kind of educated yesterday, why is the liquidity pool, which is the market cap, is so important. That's, obviously that stays the case. Like, we don't need to re-describe it. But the liquidity pool, which is the market cap, is now at 77,000. Just 2 weeks ago, it was at 64,000. Just 4 months ago, it was at 6,000. You can start seeing the acceleration. In fact, the selling of Rhino has greatly diminished. There is the one person that does 50 a day. There actually is a new person that's been selling like 198, and I know exactly, like, I always know who everyone is, right? Like, I know your wallet addresses. I send you the coin. That's not to, hey, Justin, and hey, Deborah, it's not to be confused with, oh my God, I'm gonna find, no, you can do whatever you want. Buy, sell, knock yourself out. But when I see selling, I want to know who it's by, because I want to know if it's structural or if it's just, that's life, right? So like, if there's somebody that emails me every day, Anthony, this stinks, this stinks, this stinks. Why won't you fix this? This stinks. And then that person starts selling. Well, that's a problem. That means I and Rhino are not doing what we need to do, and our actions are directly affecting someone's belief, and they are expressing that by selling. That's important to me. If somebody's selling because their roof fell off, well, that's different. That's somebody selling because life happens, and life will always happen. So can I do anything about that person? No. In fact, I'm thinking of someone in particular right now, and we got on the phone with him and helped him sell it, right? Because that's his money. So there's not many of that anymore. There's one person left, and this individual's down to 800 coin, in which case, if they want to sell it all right now, I'd buy it all right now because we have money. So that's fine. So everything with Rhino is going fine. The number of people selling have greatly diminished. The people that wanted to sell have no coin left. And the only two people that are selling regularly are really greatly depleting their supply. And Rhino's not an infinite thing. When you have no more Rhino, guess what? You got no more Rhino, which means you can't sell anymore. So, toodaloo. Our job is to make sure that we support the market, to make sure that the market's always functioning, to make sure that anyone that wants to sell will get their money. In which case, we continue to always buy the coin, we continue to buy every single day, and we continue to add to the liquidity pool so that it's stronger and stronger and stronger. Okay. But there's other stuff. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Okay. Anthony, pretend like you're like a CEO. Okay, everyone. No, it's so boring. OpenAI emailed us yesterday. So that's our AI on the website. And everyone knows by now, ChatGPT, it's kind of like the biggest thing. Everyone in the world is using it. And there's a certain saying that we say in the streets, right? Like when we're cool, there's levels to this. And usually we talk about like basketball that way, right? Oh, I'm really great at basketball. Well, Michael Jordan's really great at basketball. No, there's levels to it. Don't put yourself in the same sentence as him. And there's levels to it. So ChatGPT is free. Everyone that signs up gets a certain amount of credits, which means everyone could use it for free. Then if you decide to opt in to be a customer, you have to be approved. Then if you go further, and they only allow you to be a $100 a month customer. Like you're not allowed to be more than that unless you get approved a double time, where you have to go back to them and then share your use case. Now, the cool thing about Rhino is, what is Rhino Street? It's a localized search engine that is for free. So in actuality, we as Rhino are paying on behalf of the users of Rhino Street for them to receive the service for free. Therefore, in the eyes of OpenAI, we're one of the good guys. We're one of those people that they want to go ahead and support because we are paying to give someone else something for free. And if you follow Elon Musk or any of them, they're really into like this whole free speech thing and local businesses. And I think we're just at the right place at the right time. Like everyone likes us, which is a good thing. Like I like being liked. So anyway, the point of the story is, so they emailed us yesterday and they gave us first access, if we choose to accept, which we are, of two new products, ChatGPT Turbo, which actually is 10 times less expensive because now again, everything is 1.0, 2.0, and technology is something that as you scale it, the costs come down drastically because the cost is in the R&D. Once you have the R&D done and you're upgrading, that's a lot less costly. So we have access to ChatGPT Turbo, which will be installed into the Rhino search engine. So when you go on Rhino and you type and you click Ask Rhino, you're getting the $500 a month double-tiered premium plan of ChatGPT. Once we finish installing this, you're going to get the even higher tier that no one else has access to. And by no one else, I don't mean really no one else. It's not like Rhino and then everyone else. We're part of that top tier group that's getting advanced access. The conversational skill, the knowledge, the data, it's all far, what's the word? Far exceeds that of ChatGPT now. So if you use Ask Rhino after we install it, right, give us a week, then that search will be better than anyone out there that's talking about ChatGPT. So a lot of the times you see people like, oh, I went on ChatGPT, I did this. You can then say, yeah, well, you got like the 1.0 version. We're Rhino, we got the 2.0 version. Our version's better than yours. Why don't you come check it out? Secondly, the second offering that they're allowing us to test is Whisper. Now, Whisper is a voice to text module, meaning instead of going on Rhino and typing in your search, you can go on Rhino and press the button and say, I would like to, and voice what your search is and press search or say search. And it will do the search for you by using your voice, which is really cool. I don't know if you've ever been on a search engine that allows you to use voice, because I haven't, but that's available to us too. And we're going to install that. So you'll see search local, ask Rhino, Rhino image, Rhino whisper, which is really cool. I just don't feel the excitement. I mean, am I that dorky? Like this excites me, like whatever. Anyway, tough crowd. Thank you, Brian. Tough crowd today. Secondly, I was working with our tech team. Yeah, Cloud. So I was working with our tech team yesterday. And remember we were speaking about the Rhino bot that's going to be in the membership site. And I said that we would get our hands dirty and I have something to report back to you upon actually speaking to the team, which I said was going to be Saturday, but then it turned into yesterday, right? Anyway, so my vision of the bot was going to be kind of conversational tree. And what I mean by that is, say for instance, I say to Eve, say for instance, Eve says to me, man, I really wish I knew a way to make some money. Well, the conversational tree would pick up the word money and say, okay, The way she said money had a certain syntax that equaled this personality, and this personality is filled has what's the word I'm looking for? Has a folder. So the personality has many folders. Each folder has a different word associated with it. So if you could be in the personality A word A folder, or the personality A word B folder, and the personality C word A folder, right? Stuff like that. Then you would go ahead and say, okay, Eve expresses this personality, she used this word, let's go use the next sentence. And then then the next sentence will be, oh, Eve, we have this thing called Rhino Wealth that a lot of people are really excited about. That's making them money. Have you ever done stock option trading? In which case, Eve might say something to the effect of, no, I haven't. I'm just not interested in that type of stuff. I was talking about money, doing something else. In which case, what conversation tree would the bot then know? It would just be like, oh, doing something like, what are we going to say? The point being, we would need to kind of aggregate a lot of data and a lot of testing to go ahead and say, oh, if somebody says that, then actually take them from here and switch them here. Again, all conversational trees. Kind of like a lawyer. When they're in court and they ask a question, they know the person's going to say yes or no. And if they say yes, then this will be the next question. If they say no, this will be the next question. Conversation trees. Okay. But if you think about conversation trees, it's kind of like Google. And what I mean by that is Google, the way you're able to search things is by folder. So say, for instance, you type in the word, I don't know, burger. Well, there's a bazillion files with the word burger in it. What's your next word? King. Okay, that removes a bunch of folders. Now there's only the folders with Burger King. Maybe there's 100, right? Burger King smells. Okay, that removes a bunch. Now it's Burger King smells. What website says Burger King smells, and that's your most relevant search result? That's worked for a long time. The reason I say it's like Google is because Google is now second fiddle to AI. And what AI does is it doesn't go ahead and store on servers different folders. It actually is intelligent enough to be able to decipher the intent of what you're saying and answer you by using all of the knowledge it has. So the difference is Google stores data and they go ahead and give you the most relevant data. AI is actually intelligent and it speaks to you on behalf of its intelligence. So they're two different things. One's better than the other, in my opinion. So where am I going with this? Okay. The chatbot that I was describing was very Google. The chatbot that I learned is what we can do is very AI. Let me explain. The chatbot actually is able to measure intent. It's crazy. So we're working with Microsoft Azure on a new product. I believe it's called Lewis. And we're combining it with our OpenAI contract, our agreement with that company. So we're really making kind of like the most super duper duper thing ever. And it's able to measure intent. So oh my God, hold on, before I even say that. Remember, so in Rhino membership, you have to log in because everyone has a login. That's your membership page. The chatbot knows who you are. It doesn't speak to you agnostic to you're just a person typing in a question. It actually has a relationship with you because it knows who you are because your login is connected to the bot. Look at my wife, slow down, take a deep, I know, I'm like, okay, anyway. So when, say my wife, for instance, Tange goes on to her Rhino membership, it's gonna say, hey Tange, what's up? How are you doing today? And if Tange doesn't like that, she'll be like, please don't only speak to me when you're spoken to, something like that, right? So the chatbot will remember that. But the point being, every conversation that Tange ever has with the chatbot for the lifetime that she's with Rhino is all cataloged. And the chatbot is intelligent. It is a friend of yours. It will remember all of your conversations and develop a personality profile of who you are. Meaning, if Tange, say she's like, I really am in the mood for orange juice today. I don't know, I'm feeling weird, right? Whatever. Say 3-4 months from now, she's on the site and she's like, I feel weird today. The chatbot might say, well, do you want some orange juice? I know that helped you last time. That's crazy. That's like, but on top of that, it does. So that was, okay, now that you know that, it does measure and identify intent. So for instance, if Tange is talking to the chatbot and she's like, yeah, I don't know, I'm just kind of looking like I'm kind of short on cash, the chatbot will go ahead and make recommendations, but not recommendations based on our products, recommendations that they know are product adjacent. So for instance, rather than saying, hey, would you like to join Rhino Wealth? It's a stock option trading platform. It'll say something to the effect of, well, I know a lot of people that make money in the stock market. Some people gamble, some people have side jobs, some people new businesses. Is any of that stuff kind of like relevant to you? And then maybe Tanger's like, well, like, I've never done the stock market, but I'd be interested in it. And then the chatbot's like, well, I actually have a really good program and I could give you 2 weeks for free. Would you like to try it? In which case Tange will say yes. Now here's, oh my God, okay, go. Sorry. Like, I think my face is red. Like I'm like a giggling little like child. The chatbot is twofold. So it's an interpreter, then it's a power automator. They're two different things, but we have to connect them. The power automator is able to accept permission from you to sign up on behalf of you. Meaning, so again, remember when everyone was like, oh my God, I'm on Rhino membership. Why did it charge me $1? Why is it asking me for my card information? And we always said, well, A, it's a product, so it needs a checkout portal. Secondly, we need to make sure that you're a real person. So we need to go ahead and test your bank account, and we released $1. It's not like $1 Rhino keeps, but it allows us to know you're real. I guess that's it, right? Yeah, so anyway. But the point being, that bot is going to have that information stored in it. Therefore, when Tan says, yeah, I'd like to try it out, the bot will ask, well, do I have your permission to go ahead and sign you up on your behalf? We have name, address, blah, blah, blah. In which case, Tange might say, no, never. You're never allowed to ever sign me up for anything. I'm a grown adult. I'll do it myself. Or someone such as myself would be like, yeah, just make sure that you always get my permission first. In which case, now there is no friction. The bot knows your intent, has grown to learn your personality, effectively has become your friend, and in moments that the bot recognizes there's 2 or 3 or 4 degrees of separation from the sentence you said to the product they could recommend, they start along those lines of questioning. And when they get to that part, they then say, do I have your permission to sign you up? In which case, once you type in the word yes, it's done. Now, the next iteration, like I'm already talking about the next iteration, because Anthony, the next iteration is going to be, we're going to integrate Whisper, which will allow you to use your chatbot without typing. You'll be able to have verbal conversation. Then the next iteration is we're going to integrate that with AI caricatures, which will allow you to actually talk to a person on your screen as if it's a real person. They're going to speak to you. They're going to know you. Some of you are going to pick a good-looking person and actually probably have private relations and date them. I say that because I still can't see a world that that's not a thing. Like I almost asked my wife the other day, she's on here, so I could ask her. Well, I don't really want her to answer. But I was thinking to myself, like, so along the lines of like committed couples, is it going outside of your relationship if you have a relationship with an AI personality that learns you, right? And it's not a serious question, but it's almost like a philosophical one. My own best friend, yeah, Maurice, it's almost like a philosophical one, because what's the difference between that and say a person that you're having an online relationship with, right? Like, does it matter that it's a person versus a bot, or does it matter the content of the conversation? And that becomes the topic. Because if the content of the conversation is what matters, well then then it doesn't matter who's the genesis of it. But if what matters is you're sharing intimate feelings with another human being, which is outside of the agreement that's made in marriage, well, then there's a bot. Can you have a relationship with a bot? And the point is, I'm just, I'm always thinking whether it's good, bad, indifferent, and I don't filter it for Rhino. So, a little insight into old Anthony over here. But I want that. I want everyone in Rhino, when they come to the membership, to be greeted by a bot of their choosing that's as a character, like a person, that's able to have conversation verbally. That's what I want. That's far from today. But it's funny. Whenever I talk to anyone about Rhino, if there was a couple of months that went by in between our conversation, they always say the same thing. Oh my God, you guys got so far. And it just goes to show you. I remember looking at a picture once, and it was a character trying to jump over a wall that was like 30 feet high, and then there was a character walking up the steps of the wall, and each step was like 6 inches high. And the message you were supposed to get is everything happens in steps. Like, you can't do it all at once. Take steps. So we're always going to be taking steps. So all the updates I shared with you is the current steps. Hopefully by a week from now, you'll see Rhino Whisper. We'll have Turbo going. Hopefully I would have passed our Salesforce exam. The chatbot actually won't be that far away from now, because a lot of the functionality is already done. We just have to train it. So I'm waiting for our tech team to let me know what they need from me, in which case I might just have 20,000 questions and answers, right? Like, I might come up with 20,000 different questions that I'll ever be asked. And of course, I'll use AI to help me. It's not like I'm going to sit here and write them down. And the relevant answers. In which case, if I could have a CSV file of 20,000 questions and answers that I approve, that I upload into a bot that's going to learn that, plus learn your personality because they know exactly who you are because you sign up to your membership, then the rest is like, okay, a week went by, look how much it learned. Or 2 weeks went by, look how much it learned. And that's all really good stuff. Another thing. I swear, yesterday I had so many updates. I don't even... Anyway, so I told everyone that Salesforce is coming Tuesday for lunch, and they're going to find out right away that I'm not a cheap date, which is actually funny. Anytime I've ever gone out with my wife, or any date ever in my entire life, when you go out on a date and you order the salad because you don't want to get something expensive. I've always worked so hard on anyone's behalf. I've always never thought of money as being like, let me cheapen out on someone, that I'm the date that has no problem getting filet mignon, lobster tails, a martini, and a tiramisu. And anyone that looks at me like, Ant, I can't believe you spent that much of their money, then you don't know me, because I will do everything for someone. So I'm not going to, I treat others as I would like to be treated. If I ever went out with someone and they purposely didn't get the thing they wanted because they wanted to appease some oh, I don't want to spend too much of Anthony's money, while not allowing me the right to go ahead and save up and do something special for them, I'd get mad. So the point of the story is Salesforce is going to learn that I'm not a cheap date. I might ask them for 10 sushi rolls because my wife loves sushi and I'll just bring it home afterwards. But the point of the story is I was speaking to them yesterday because we were kind of going over topics that we would like to discuss. And I shared with them what we're doing with our Salesforce program, the membership, how we're teaching, and we're actually just going to launch the agency ourselves and hire individuals that we're going to assign hours for while we go ahead and build the client list. Well, they were more than happy about that, and rightfully so. Why wouldn't Salesforce be happy that not only are we teaching their program, but we're taking on clients and we're giving people income based on it? So Stephanie, which is her name, said to me, she goes, that's exciting. I'm going to get you in touch with a team that will be able to help you out. And when you're speaking to Salesforce, they don't detail things. They just I'll get you in touch with a team that can help you out. Now, of course, when they come here, I'm going to learn what that actually means. But in terms of knowing Salesforce, that means that she made a call. There's a whole team that has God knows how many resources that are going to step in and say, if you do it this way, this is what we're prepared to do for you. In which case, we're going to do it that way because I want all the resources they give us, which is pretty cool. One more thing. So I mentioned yesterday, Einstein GPT is going to be released today. I have not looked at it yet. I want to look at it, but when I was speaking with our team yesterday, we're going to be integrating Rhino membership completely into our Salesforce in terms of all of the profiles the bot would build on your behalf. It's going to go back to Salesforce because Salesforce has their own GPT, Einstein GPT, which will allow us to say, oh, Deborah likes this. She was in this mood this day because of this. She did like this. She did like that. We suggest that you should do this for Deborah, send it on this date and use this email to do it. In which case I'm going to say, well, Einstein, that was really smart of you. So if anyone doesn't see it, which I didn't see it even like a day ago, I kind of want to just share one last thing. This is going in the direction that whether it was by luck or by divine intervention, any platform, any ecosystem that's been built on respect, responsibility, morality, ethics, that has been able to go ahead and keep a certain evangelist and kind of touch a personal point, now is going to be given via technology all the tools that would allow them to monetize at such an exponential rate that they would far surpass anyone that did it the other way. So like a business looks to go ahead and sell product and they look to grow those sales, and maybe it's $100 and $110 and $120 and $130. Rhino's never sold anything, right? Well, we stopped selling stuff, right? So our instinct to make money is how can we go ahead and participate in everyone making money? Well, that's a little difficult because again, we're not making any money and we got to come up with something that not only is going to make us money, but it's going to make you money. Like that's the filter. Okay, let's come up with an idea to make money. Okay, well, does that idea make everyone else money? No? Well, then we don't want it. Anthony, seriously, you don't want to make money because it doesn't make everyone else money? Yeah, that's what I said. That's how we make decisions. It's totally crazy. But technology is allowing us to take that craziness and be able to share it with everyone, to be able to say, okay, you know what, Ant, you did a good job. Everyone here, you all got together and did it. Now let technology take it the rest of the way. And honestly, it's kind of cool. It's like really exciting stuff we have going on. So before someone tells me, which my wife certainly will, Anthony, you've gone for a half hour, you promised 10 minutes, or if Travis is somewhere, I see his, Travis tells me, Anthony, I see you, you average 21 minutes. And then the other day he's like 27 minutes. Now I'm 28 minutes. So I need to go because people are counting my time. But Laura, who I know is here, is thrilled because anything over 10 minutes, anything close to an hour, she gets excited for. So let me go. I got some work to do, but I will keep everyone updated. And whoever's on Rhino Hub later, I'll see you. I have to prepare the preparations to prepare the examinations and the certifications. Say that 5 times fast. Okay, love everyone. Love you, love you, love you. Love you long time. Bye.